Chloe. I hope you had something to drink. You've got another 45 minutes ahead of you. Are you good to go?
I am good to go. How about you guys? Are you guys ready to continue to learn? I think it's like a full day of learning for you guys. It's really amazing. Okay, so I'm just going to do a share screen right now. Is it okay?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay,
and guys, once again, if you have any questions for Chloe, just go ahead and leave that in the Q&A box and we'll get right to it. So yes, Chloe, whenever you're ready, take it away. I'll be back in half an hour to help you with your Q&A.
Sure, no problem. Thanks, everyone. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the panel discussion just now. And I felt that, hey, I really learned a lot from 3 other speakers who are on the panels. And I felt that there's so many things that I also want to continue to share. And I'm very fortunate to be here as well. Exactly, like especially a business owner, you're already having some like e-commerce store, right? How can you build a powerful brand for your business and drive more customers into your stores or into your social media channel and everything? So this is exactly what I'll be sharing with you during this discussion. So in the meantime, let me just briefly introduce a little bit more about myself. So I am the co-founder of this company called The Next Level, which is really focusing on education, teaching people how they can brand themselves, brand their business better online. And on top of that, it's a 7-figure business. So we are very happy that even during COVID-19 period, actually our business does better because we have pivoted online much earlier. So this is why during the panel discussion, we also want to encourage you all to start pivoting, digitalizing your business, because this is really the trend, the way forward. All right. And on top of that, I'm also an international female speaker who are constantly invited to go overseas. Last time before COVID-19 happens, right? Actually, like almost every single month, I will be invited outside to speak, like in Japan or in Hong Kong, just to give some sharing. And on top of that, I'm very fortunate to be featured on the newspaper as well. We hope that through all these sharing that we are doing, we encourage you to really move online and start having your own online brand. All right, so I just want to let you know that whatever that I am going to share with you, it's not theory. In the past, okay, we actually started branding and moving ourselves online since last year. So you can see that the first time that we did it, right, the first few months, like July and August, it was okay, 30,000, 40,000. So we can see that, hey, online is really a way forward, especially we are doing education. How do we move our education into online? So that's why we started doing it. And then September to November, this is when we started thinking like, hey, actually from our August and July results, it really worked. Why not we just go much more full scale and place more focus on converting our students, doing online webinars for our students and everything, right? So this is what happened. And September to November, we had even more sales, okay, because we know we have find our sweet spot even more, and we really pump more money into expanding our online presence. And then from December to February, that's when we decided to take a break. That's also because, like December has Christmas, and then February has Chinese New Year. So this is when we know that we as our team members also need to take a break. So that's why we scale down a little bit, let it slow down. But March is really the month that we decided to go a lot more inside. So you can see that the revenue for March really jumped from 58,000 to 400,000, right? So when the COVID hits, right, at first we were thinking like, hey, how is it going to affect our business? But actually, to our surprise, but not so surprised after all, because we all know that COVID is going to be digitalizing, everything's going to be online, right? So in COVID, during the April month and during the May month, we hit 1 million USD again and again. And so using the same strategy that I'm also going to share with you later, you can also achieve the result that you want, okay? Because this is exactly proven using our business model, and you just basically take the same formula and implement it to your own business as well. All right, so this is not a theory. This method really works. So all you need to do is to go and implement it, because only through implementation then you will see results. All right, in the meantime, if you have any more questions, just type it in the comment section. Later on there's Q&A, and I will be able to delve into your questions as well. All right, So how can you dominate the online space and really leapfrog from all the competitions, right? Because we all know that, hey, internet space, it's competitive. Some of you also say, hey, I go to different store. Why should I buy from this store instead of that store, right? So exactly, you have to implement these 3-step new way formula that I'm going to share with you right now. So actually, this sharing is relatively short. Usually my webinar, to really go in depth into ABC, it's about 2 hours. So within this half an hour, I will focus more on the A, because A is the key foundation to everything, right? So for B and C, later on, we will have a registration link if you want to come to our another webinar, which is about 2 hours long, to learn the whole ABC. But let me focus on A first, and you guys can ask me any questions regarding, firstly, attract attention with a unique brand. And why is having a unique brand important? Okay, I believe all of you already have the answer, right? Because, for example, I'm saying about, hey, let's set up an e-commerce store and let's sell something that we all can understand. Let's say we sell a rose, right? And we believe that, hey, when we set up an e-commerce store, if I sell this rose and I can reach, really potentially, I can reach the world. Is that correct? Because it's global citizen, internet, no boundary. I can literally reach to anyone as long as they have internet connection, right? So that's why a lot of business owner, when they set up a store, they felt that, wow, they can really have unlimited upside, especially it's e-commerce. So they started to sell, and they spend money setting up stores, they spend money running ads, and they also spend a lot of time and effort in order to make it work. Okay, but most of the time, like what Julian mentioned, the first few stores that he set up didn't work out. In fact, there was no sale. Okay, so what's the reason behind that? Okay, why Julian in the past he set up so many stores, but it didn't make him any money. In fact, he lost money, spent thousands and thousands setting up stores, buying products and everything, or doing drop shipping. You also need to liaise and everything, but it just didn't work out. What happened is because most of the time, business owners, especially beginner business owner, they forgot about this thing. They forgot that apart from them, so many other people or so many other businesses are selling the same thing, right? If you're talking about rose, well, what's so special about rose? Your rose is the same as other people's rose, right? So why should I buy from you, right? If I could have bought it cheaper, maybe on Amazon. Imagine just now, Benjamin talked about, hey, if you just rely on selling your products on people's platform, Amazon, initially they give you the traffic because Amazon is a place where the traffic is there. But eventually, when Amazon knows that this is a good product, what they will do is they will start to create their own Amazon brand, and they're going to sell it cheaper than you. The quality may be the same, or if not, even better than you, right? So that's when you know that you lost the advantage. So when everybody is selling the same thing, you have nothing to differentiate against yourself, then your rose will become just one of the roses that are similar to so many other people. And that's when you know that you cannot stand out. When you cannot stand out, your business are going to suffer because you are basically stuck into the price war. If you understand what do I mean, please type price war, right? I'm not sure whether you are also facing price war for your business, because once you face price war, then you are really in a bad situation. There's only so much that you can cut, right? The price, there's only so much you can cut. What can you do, right? So that's why don't focus on price war. You have to differentiate. You have to differentiate yourself from so many competitors out there. Okay, now imagine you are that yellow flower among all these red flowers, right? Immediately you strike people's attention. Immediately people will start wondering, wow, why is this so unique? I gotta check it out. You know, even though there's so many choices available, but because you are unique, your brand is unique, and that's why they come to you, right? So it's really, really important that you have to find out and decide a unique brand for yourself. So in the meantime, let me see whether there's any questions. If there's any questions, I will just answer along the way, all right? So yeah, let me stop share first. price war. Okay, yeah. Chia, you understand, right? It's really, really terrible to be stuck into price war. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions, just type. Okay, let me see Q&A. SG market is so small, yet so many saturated with sellers. Do we sell? Oh, okay. Do we sell overseas or depend on local market for a new and inexperienced seller? Fantastic question. All right. So this one, I will answer it later on as I progress along the whole sharing. All right. Fantastic. I will keep this question in mind. So that's why it's really important to differentiate yourself by having a unique brand. All right. So how can we have a unique brand? Now it comes to the branding tips, right? How can you differentiate yourself from the rest? Firstly, you have to capture attention, but we have to capture the attention in a pleasant way, right? We don't want to have a negative attention, because at the end of the day, we want positive attention and we want people to support our brand, right? So you have to capture the right attention through the right topic. So what do I mean by the right topic, right? So depends on what is your business. Right? If you are selling lady stuff, if you are selling breastfeeding machine or breastfeed pump, then you have to talk about it, right? If you don't talk about it, there's no way that your customers are going to understand it, right? But while you talk about this niche topic, right, don't talk about random stuff, because I do see that a lot of people, especially those people who first started doing business, they will really want to talk about too many things. You know, sometimes I talk about fitness, then the other day I talk about cooking, then the other day I talk about my cat. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It becomes a very random feed that people go into your social media, they don't know what are you for, right? You talk about too many things. It doesn't make sense. That's why niche down on one thing that is related to your brand, which is related to your product or the services, right? So how does that work is, when you are deciding on your topic, if you don't have a business yet, or if you are thinking of starting your own e-commerce store, then this is something that this exercise will also help you, okay? So for example, depending on your own personal interest or your passion, or yeah, so depending on what kind of things that you like to use as a consumer. Let's say you want to set up an e-commerce store, and let's say you also want to learn drop shipping, right? But if you want to learn drop shipping, you know you need to sell something, but what are you going to sell, right? You better sell something that you yourself are also a consumer, because you know the product better, right? And at the end of the day, if you are interested in this topic, it's so natural for you to keep on talking about it, because you have a unlimited idea to share about it, right? So firstly, is it something that you're passionate about? And then the second thing that you need to consider is, do you have market demand for this product? Correct? Because if this product, no matter how fantastic you think it is, if nobody thinks it's fantastic, then there's no way that you're going to sell it. So you also need to do market demand research, and if both of them comes in, so how can you tell that whether it has market demand or not? Most of the time, right, it links down to these three core pillars. Okay, what is these three core pillars? Because we human beings, do you agree that we always want to have a fulfilling relationship, a loving relationship, and then we also want to have a healthy body, right? And last but not least, we also want to have a wealthy lifestyle, or abundance of wealth, because these are the core human needs. And if your market, right, you are addressing your market into one of the three key pillars, it's very likely that your product is going to sell, or your service is going to sell, because you are indeed providing a solution to humans in general, always have the same needs, right? So always have to highlight, you know, like when you're trying to sell something, promote something on the internet, right? Think of, hey, how are your product, how are your services actually helping people, right? If it can help in any of the three areas, then you know that, hey, you know this product is something that's creating value, and that's why you should be confident selling it, right? So that's why when you are talking about like creating your social media, firstly, in terms of branding, you really need to move on to social media. Remember, Benjamin mentioned that, hey, more and more people are using social media. People are watching Facebook Live and everything. Create a Facebook page. Okay? That's the first step. create a Facebook page, and of course, depending on your audience, if your audience are relatively young, then consider an Instagram, okay? But nevertheless, start with a social media channel, okay? And from there, start producing content on a very consistent basis. So now let me show you like Julian, okay? Julian, I use him as a case study to show you, because he himself is a very successful e-commerce person who running an e-commerce business, right? But on top of that, actually, he has another business also. Another business is teaching people how to run a successful e-commerce store, right? So as a business owner, you can also start think about, hey, apart from selling your own product or services, right? Which is like for Julian, he has his own store, okay? He generates money from his own e-commerce store. What other ways that you can use to generate additional stream of income? And this additional stream of income to you is actually new clients, right? For example, like let me use Julian as example. He himself, apart from having a store, running his own store, making money from his own store, he also teach people how to set up stores, right? How to have a successful e-commerce business. So Julian, he actually come and learn from us about like May, end of May, right? 20th of May, if I'm not wrong, he joined the three-day workshop, right? So he come and join, and then he really, or like immediately he went to take action and he set up his own Facebook page. So you can see that he's relatively new, so he doesn't have a lot of followers yet, but it's okay, because most importantly, your followers will grow as you continue to provide content, continue to provide value to your audience. So let's see what Julian is thinking and why does he choose e-commerce, right? The reason why he chose e-commerce is because he's very passionate about e-commerce. He mentioned earlier, few years ago, he already started doing e-commerce, but at that time he failed, right? He felt he didn't manage to make any money from his e-commerce business. In fact, he lost money, but his passion for e-commerce never died. He not because of, hey, I failed, then I want to give up. No, he really loved this e-commerce. He believed that this is a future. And that's why despite all the difficulties, all the failures, setback that he faced, he continued to do it. And that's why now he already found a successful formula. And that's why he knows that, hey, I now have a successful formula. I learned from my bad experience. I learned from my mistakes. Why not I teach all these crystal strategies that I have to other people? Then maybe other people will also want to learn from me. So that's why originally his passion is e-commerce. So he decided, right? So secondly, does e-commerce has market demand? Okay, what do you guys think? Do you think that e-commerce has market demand? If you think it does, please type market demand, all right? Because the reason why you are here is because you also want to tap into the power of e-commerce. Okay, you are already a business owner, probably already doing e-commerce. You want to see how you can scale further, even faster online, or you are aspiring entrepreneurs want to tap into this power. So definitely it's a growing trend, and because of COVID, in fact, the trend just grow even faster, right? So e-commerce definitely is a place that has a lot of market demand. And why does it have a market demand? Because remember the three key pillars, right? Later we are going to into that, yeah. But you can see Julian on his Facebook page. Okay, he posted a lot of things about e-commerce. Okay, he doesn't post random stuff. Okay, he doesn't post about his pet lah. He doesn't post about him going to gym. He only posts something relevant to e-commerce, right? So when he does that, people will started to be curious about, hey, it's true, it's really like the second wave. How has it been impacting the economy? How has it been impacting the e-commerce? And that's why you can see that he garnered a lot of even though not a lot, but consider very, very decent number of people interested in his topic and even participated by leaving in comments, right? So that's when I mentioned that you really need to gather people's attention. And how can you gather people's attention? You have to start posting it, right? You have to start letting people know what is your business about. And you have to find a face, if even better, have a face behind your business, right? Behind your store. At the end of the day, it's more than just a product. It's about you, how people are resonating with you, how your customers are resonating with your value. So Julian, right away, he just put up his face because he really want to brand himself nevertheless, right? So this is him talking about e-commerce. Every day, he will definitely have a post on something related to e-commerce. So if he doesn't do Facebook Live, actually every week he has a Facebook Live. But when he doesn't do Facebook Live, at least he will post a picture with text, or he share an article. And that's when people will find it's valuable and they continue to follow him, right? So next is we have to integrate our topic, our passion into either one of the three key pillars inside the market demand. So where do you think e-commerce fall under? Okay, let me know. Do you think it's under wealth, it's under health, or it's under relationship? Which do you think e-commerce actually brings the most out of it? All right, so let me know. Let me take a look whether you guys are thinking, because it's very important to think through the process. Only by thinking through, then you will be able to internalize better and implement it better on your business as well. Okay, so where do you think that it's under wealth, health, or relationship for e-commerce? Actually, it's quite obvious, right? If it's e-commerce, it's definitely wealth, right? Because at the end of the day, why people want to go to the internet? Why do people want to start an e-commerce store? Because they know that their business can sell more, they can get more sales, they can expand overseas, and that's when they know that, hey, this is a place, a medium for them to make more income, right? And that's why people started to really want to set up e-commerce stores. So that's why very, very cleverly, Julian just linked his e-commerce into wealth, right? So once he linked into wealth, the next thing that he need to do is start letting people know that, hey, do you know that e-commerce has made me so much money? Okay, in fact, 14K, which is 14,000 USD in 30 days. So he just let people know that this is his store, and his store made so much money within 30 days. And you can come and learn how you can also do the same thing in 5 hours. Okay, yeah, so I mean, like the webinar is happening in 5 hours. I think his webinar is about like 1 to 2 hours. Yeah, so another one is he also had his own e-course teaching people how they can set up their own e-commerce store step by step by learning from his e-course. So can you see that everything is very integrated? His brand, which is the e-commerce expert, okay, having a very successful e-commerce store. And then he also wants to see how he can generate an alternate stream of income from his core business, right? Which is actually by education. Remember, at the end of the day, right, why people like to follow you, right? Or why people like to follow your brand, your business? Because you're providing value, you're providing education material to them. And by learning from you, by hearing from you, they actually can learn something and they can implement to their business or to their personal life. So this is exactly what Julian is doing. And that's why he provides a lot of free education even on the internet. And because he has been providing so much value, right? Eventually people think that, wow, for this guy, even for free education, like free webinar, free content, he already teach so much. If I purchase his e-course, wow, then I will definitely learn a lot more in detail. And that's why, ta-da, within 9 hours, right? When he first sold his e-course, yeah, at a ridiculous offer of $47, because it's the first time of him doing it. So he also wants to charge cheaper to see how many people are interested to learn from him. So 9 hours, within 9 hours of selling his first digital product, okay, actually belongs to him. It's not dropshipping anymore. It belongs to him, his own product, which is an e-course. He already made $470, which is equivalent to 2K RM. Okay, in 9 hours, if you can make close to 2K RM, who think it's not bad? And if you think it's not bad, please type not bad. because in my opinion, I really think it's considered really not bad. Because 9 hours, within 9 hours, I can make 2K RM because he's based in Malaysia. So you know the standard of living in Malaysia is not very high. Okay, maybe some of you are from Malaysia, right? Some of you are from Singapore. Maybe Singapore 400, about 500 USD to you is not a lot, but to many Malaysian people, right, this is considered a pretty good income, right? And this is exactly what Julian did. The first 9 hours that he launched his own educational product, he already made 470 USD. And do you see below? Even more amazing thing is he said, I have not even started creating the course yet. Can you see how magical it is now? Because Julian, he basically pre-launched his e-course. What does pre-launch means? Is because sometimes as a business owner, do you agree that, wow, if I spend a lot of money, I spend a lot of marketing effort, research, everything into coming up with a product, resources, time, effort are already there. You really have the pressure to make sure it sells very well. Because if it doesn't sell well, then you are burning all your cash, you're burning all your marketing budget, and you're burning everything that the past few months or few years that you went to create this product. But now, the new way of doing business, right, actually is not product creation, right? If you focus so much on product creation, but your product doesn't sell, you are just hurting yourself, you are hurting your bottom line. But if you are using a new way of doing business, instead of go and spend a lot of money, a lot of time to create the product, launch it first. Okay, what does pre-launch means is you don't have a product yet, but it's okay. You launch it to see how many people are interested in buying from you, or how many people actually paid you money to buy from you pre-order. Actually, this is not a new concept. Apple does that. Every single year when they roll out a new phone, right, they don't roll out immediately. They ask you to pre-order. Remember, it's always about pre-order. iPhone 11 Pro pre-order, iPhone X also pre-order. From iPhone 4 onwards, every year they ask people to pre-order. And when they do pre-order, it's cheaper. But it's okay because I get to understand this business as an Apple, get to understand how many people are interested in their product, right? And they won't be able, and from the data, from the money that they collected from the pre-order, they go and produce a product. Do you think how wonderful? Do you see how wonderful it is? The risk is greatly reduced. If you understand the power of pre-launch, right? You really have to start implementing it on your business, right? So for Julian, he pre-launched his e-course, right? So he haven't gone and created it yet, then he just pre-launch. Right? What's the harm? Because if nobody buy, then at the end of the day, I just don't create, right? Nothing to lose. But if really people buy, then I collected the money. After that, I go and create my e-course. So this is exactly what he did. Okay, so super smart. And after that, he also shared about continually using his webinar. He also shared how he made $14,000 during a circuit breaker, launching his own e-store, and then another 22K in May, continue selling on his e-commerce platform, like his store, right? So people will be very, very interested to learn from him how he actually did it. And that's when he will conduct a webinar teaching people how they can do it. And if they want to learn a lot more in depth, step by step, the nitty-gritty, then buy his e-course, right? So everything it's a funnel that flows. So that's why always make sure you are creating value, because by creating valuable content like this, people are interested to learn. And when they are interested to learn, they will come to you, they'll come to your brand, and then learn from you, and eventually become your paying customer. Even by buying an e-course from him, these students are considered his paying customer. And that's how he can continue to have more revenue generated to scale his e-commerce, right? Can you see it's really a beautiful weapon that he has, because from the money that he generated from his e-course, right? Then he used it to scale his e-commerce store even more. And that's when he can make even more money from his e-commerce store. And then he can teach more students the power of e-commerce. So that's why post content every day. That is so important, because if you don't post content, nobody will know what is your business about, right? And most importantly, when you post the content, right, it has to be something educational. It has to be something that can create value, right? Let people know about your product and your service through education rather than through direct selling, because nobody like to be sold, but people like to learn, right? So through education, if they find you to be valuable, they will buy from you. Don't worry about it, because that's how humans are, right? If I find you to be a good teacher, then why not I learn from you, right? So it's the same thing. Okay, so this is the key thing. And let me show you. That is for Julian, another of our student. His name okay, let me think I suddenly forgot his name. Okay, but he's a very Yongsheng. Yes, I remember Yongsheng. He's a super amazing guy. What does he sell? Okay, he actually owns a physical store selling curtains. So can you see that he also does Facebook Live? Because we asked him to do that. Because if you run a traditional brick and mortar store, and if you don't let people know what you are about, nobody is ever going to come to you, right? So that's why recently, actually ever since he started learning, he really started taking action, like doing Facebook Live and everything, right? And he teach people how, like for example, hey, homeowners with balcony at home, come and join us this sharing session. What is this zip track blinds can do onto your balcony, and how can it add value to your home and your family life? Wouldn't you be interested to learn? Because if you are someone with balcony, you really want to make sure your balcony is that nicely decorated. At the same time, the blinds are also give a lot of function to your living, right? So that's why he just create this free educational content on his Facebook page. And then eventually, when people actually want to buy from him or want to buy a curtain, right? Who do you think they will buy from? If Yongsheng keep on delivering value, keep on giving them a lot of content, right? They will immediately think of Yongsheng, which is a soft home instead of others, because no other people who are selling curtains are doing this online. Nobody. That's why I would immediately think of someone who has been doing online branding, who has been doing a lot of value added educational talks on this. Then if I want to buy something, I would want to buy from this person. Right? So it's really a natural flow, and I really want to encourage you to start branding yourself online, branding your business online. For Yongsheng, right? He also come out as a face. In the past, everything was just behind the company logo, but that doesn't bring the connection to people. But once you have the face, you see the boss behind it, you see the CEO talking, educating you, you immediately feel the connection is so much deeper. It's just more than curtain. It's the relationship that you are building with your customer, right? So that's why originally probably very few people will know you, okay? But it's okay. You keep on talking about it, keep on giving value, showing about what you can add value to. Eventually, people will start to see you as an enthusiast. Okay, what does enthusiast means is they will see you, wow, this person every day talk a lot, okay? Like bit 小小 one, but everybody talk about branding, blah, 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 blah. But eventually they will see that, oh yeah, through the education content that Chloe has been sharing, indeed, it's true. If I want to learn anything about branding, right, then maybe I can check out Chloe's Facebook page, something like that. And eventually people will see you as an expert. Okay, so don't worry that you may not be very good at the beginning to talk in front of the Facebook Live and everything. Just try, because nobody is born to be an expert, okay? But experts are being created. You just have to do it, and you will get more and more natural over time. And your branding, your business brand is going to increase a lot more than you can ever imagine. And so will the sales, will the customers also come into your store, all right? So that's how it works, okay? So let me see whether there's, okay, let me answer some of the questions that you guys had just now, okay? So okay, just now there was a questions regarding SG market is very small, so how do we go overseas? I think, right, it's good to go overseas, because with the power of e-commerce, you can go overseas definitely. But remember, always make sure you have a strong brand first, because without a strong brand, no matter where you go, you will be killed off by competition, correct? So always make sure you start producing content, start giving value on social media, make people recognize you. And if you already have like a great social media presence, like a lot of followers, then fantastic. You know that, hey, this is time for you to be ready to go overseas. But before you even do that, make sure you spend that effort to build up your brand. Okay, and branding takes time because it takes you to build up momentum. Minimally about 1 month to 2 months to really gain attraction. Trust me, if you every day talk about your brand, talk about your business for 1 month, you can gain a lot more traction than people who only does it like once in a while. Okay, they're 1 year of followers. You can gain it in 1 month because you do it very, very consistently. Okay, so the second one, using my breast pump example, do you sell your own brand? Or if yes, do you scale to your brand? If not, probably talk about another brand which ends in price war. Okay, so what Julian does, what he did was actually at the end of the day, his product, right? He said he created a brand. And even though it's drop shipping, so actually these products, right, don't belong to him. He doesn't need money to go and manufacture it, but he created a brand for his own e-store, right? So you can create a brand for your own e-store, right? You can sell different breastfeeding or breast pump, but at the end of the day, is why people decide to buy from your store instead of other people's store, right? And once you have a brand, especially once you have a brand, right, it's so easy for you to charge a premium. Do you agree? Imagine I'm telling you, hey, buy this cup. Okay, this cup. Oh, you can't see my cup. Okay, you can buy this cup. This cup is very good, very good. But then you can talk a lot good thing about it, but nobody know about the brand of this cup. Then they wouldn't want to pay a high price for the cup. But now if I tell you that, hey, this cup is actually manufactured by Apple. I don't know, anyhow, it's manufactured by Apple. And because of this, it's an Apple technology, blah, 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 blah. If I just say this with associating to Apple, people will start to think that, wow, this cup is different because it has a brand, right? So that's why regardless what kind of products you are selling, always create a brand under it, okay? And once you have a brand, right, you can have multiple different products under it. It's okay because people associate the brand, not the product, okay? So the next question, if I have two passion in two different, do you create two social media and do I put a face on two businesses? Okay, very good question. Actually, I really want you to focus on one thing first. Do you agree that focus give you success much higher, right? If you are I know you are good at too many things. Actually, in general, right, a lot of people are good at too many things, and in return they don't know what to do and they lose the focus, and in the end they become not good at anything, right? And it's very ironic because if you are good, right, focus on one thing first, focus on branding yourself under one thing. And when you have become so good at certain thing, for example, when you are like, for example, if you are very good at let me just talk about my co-founder Sean. I'm not sure whether you have heard of him. Sean Xia, he is very good in terms of, he's very famous as an investor from the beginning. Okay, because he's very good at investing. He teach people how to invest, and he also went to US to learn from the Buffett family to learn how to invest, right? So that's why he come back with a huge brand, which is the first person learning from the Buffett family. And he come back to Singapore to start teaching people about value investing. And he has been branding himself as the investing guru, right? So his brand was very consistent, very, very focused until now everybody know him as the investor guru, right? The investing guru. But eventually, because he has gained the momentum so much in one thing, now it's very easy for him to expand into other things. So now he expanded into business, okay, teaching people how to scale their business online because he did the same thing. Okay, he did the same thing, how he scaled his business, how he turned his business also into an education empire online. The same thing, right? But you have to do it with one focus first, then you do the second thing when you know your first brand is already solidified. Okay, I think Laureen is here. Do you have anything to say?
I think we can have one more question. We're just a little bit over time, but let's just do one more. Do you want to go ahead and answer the
Okay.
one that Joe wrote there for you?
Okay, so Joe said that B2B business, we are selling heavy machines and industry is targeted and there's only a few models that we have. How do we create this type of content? And machines are very boring. Yeah, I do agree. Machines in general are boring, but depending on how you present it, you can actually make it interesting. If you talk about the S-hook lady, right? Whatever that she's selling is also a very boring thing, but she can sell in a way that's interesting, and that's why people are willing to buy. But because your business is doing B2B, I think you focus on branding yourself to make yourself to be the established company for business to go to. And once you are established, right, you can charge a premium even for your boring machines, right? So that's how it works. Branding, it always comes first. Okay. So I hope that helped to address your question.
All right, fantastic. Now, Chloe, that's all the time we have for today. We actually have one more question from Jay, but I think you can go and answer that offline, and that would be great as well. But thank you so much. You've been such a joy to talk to, and I think a lot of people enjoyed your presentation. So you guys, let's give her a virtual round of applause. Thank you so much for being a part of the Singapore e-commerce.
Can I just share the one last thing?
Absolutely.
Can I just share one last thing? Thank you so much. I just do the last share screen in terms of if you want to learn the more detail in terms of the ABC formula. In fact, actually, I am doing a webinar together with Julian next Saturday to share a lot more in detail in terms of the ABC that we have no time to go through. And I'll also be inviting Julian to share about a lot more e-commerce secrets that he has. So you can go to this link, bit.ly at ecom branding 101 to register for our webinar for free next Saturday. All right, that's all I have to share.
All right, absolutely brilliant. Now, Chloe, if people want to get in touch with you, how do we do that?
They can go to my Facebook page, which is Chloe Lin, which I did share just now. Yeah, so
okay. I'm assuming you're on LinkedIn as well, right?
Yes, right.
Okay, guys. So if you like, you can always drop your contact details in the comment section, and that way everyone can get in touch with you. But thank you so much for joining us once again, Chloe. You've been amazing, and we hope to see you guys. See you again. All right, thank you.
See you.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.